All right, welcome in to a Wednesday edition of the JP Peterson Show, coming to you from RHS Studios over here in St. Petersburg, Florida. JP is in Las Vegas this week, taking in the match this weekend between Clay Thompson and Steph Curry versus Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. He's going to join us here in just a little bit. He's having some little technical difficulties over there in Las Vegas, so he's going to get on here in just a little bit. Got a big show today. The Rays last night put up a little bit of a stinker in game one against Arizona. Taj Bradley, the worst start of his Major League Baseball career. Evan Longoria, who I've advocated to come back for the Rays because we're all about fun, tells the Rays that you should have signed me a little bit last night. He was great, so we'll get into that. And some comments that he made, by the way, as well, about his time in Tampa Bay and some potential interest the Rays had in him in the offseason. Alan Snel, the Las Vegas business, is going to sportsbiz.com is going to join us at 10:15 today. And Scott Reynolds is going to join us from the Pewter Report at 10:30. We'll get into some Bucs talk and so much more. Some Lightning talk probably going to come today with a recent report about the status of Alex Killorn and how those contract negotiations are going. But without further ado, I believe I see him. He's popped in here, and that is JP. Let me move the things. Get him on. JP, you hear me okay?
Hello, my friend. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We got you.
All right. Wow, what an ordeal that was. Yes, technology in these times out of that. There's so many people here. I think they have overwhelmed the technology, the Wi-Fi. We tried the iPhone. We tried the Wi-Fi here at Planet Hollywood. Finally, I think we get it all worked out. So, good morning to you from Vegas. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Just set up the show there. Told Alan Snell coming on at 10:15. Scott Reynolds at 10:30. The Rays last night. Some Lightning. I think we're going to get into some good Lightning talk today as well, with
Yes,
some
yes.
news going on there. The NHL draft, which is in Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, is tonight as well, right?
The NHL draft. Yes, yes. The Lightning have one pick in the NHL draft. So I paid absolutely zero attention to the NHL draft whatsoever, except for Connor Bedard. I think we know where that's going. Other than that, no reason to delve into anything with the Lightning and the draft. But it finally got here to Vegas. It's been a while since I've been here in Vegas, so there's a lot that's different. Caesar's Palace has grown enormously. Right across the street we're right across from the Bellagio fountains. So I was trying to get you guys a shot of the mountains here, but the sun is behind me, so I can't do that because I would be totally backlit. So I had this whole thing set up. We got this beautiful view of the mountains and the new Sphere out here where they're going to have all the concerts, but we couldn't do that. So you'll just get some cheesy art in our hotel room here behind me. And that's about all we're going to get. So but Vegas it's I don't know the last time you were out here, but it is just the most ridiculous display of gaudy wealth and debauchery that you could ever. Just walking down Las Vegas Boulevard last night, and all the ladies are out in their costumes. There's Granny doing hula hoops. Like it's a 65-year-old granny that's doing hula hoops out there doing crazy stuff. Dudes, had a guy walk up to me, a guy in a Captain America outfit, young fella, and he said, "You're the most handsome man on the strip. Are you single?" I'm like, "Oh," and he says, "Oh, I see you're with a lovely lady there." And yeah, I'm good. I don't know what he was fishing for, but obviously it was money, and so that was the high point of the night last night.
That's a hell of a compliment.
Getting hit on by Captain America. So I got that going for me.
Did you get any offers for some paraphernalia or anything?
Plenty of that, and lots of strip club offers and things like that. But we're just settling in for the week. We're here for a lot of different reasons. But Patrick Mahomes for the golf match on Thursday, which will be tomorrow. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce versus Steph and Clay, and I'm pretty sure Draymond's not going to be there. But he might be. Draymond might be there and supporting his team, although he's probably going to Sacramento, if anybody cares about that. We'll see how that works out. and see a couple shows out here. They're already getting ready for the F1 race that's coming up in November. Some repaving going on. Las Vegas Boulevard causing a lot of crazy ass traffic. So this is an incredible. Las Vegas has developed into an incredible sports city, and we're going to talk a lot about that today. Alan Snell is going to join us with the Las Vegas. What is it? LasVegasSportsBiz.com, LVSportsBiz.com. He used to write for the Tribune, but now he's out here covering. And in the last, obviously, 4 or 5 years since, or 6 years since NHL came here. Obviously, the Raiders came here. The A's are coming here. So since Alan got here, it has exploded as a sports market. It's always been, it was always been the mecca for boxing. The big fights, the Las Vegas fights, which I've never covered a big fight in Vegas. Never done that. Really, it's kind of on my bucket list. Would like to do that. They have the MMA out here. It has become a hub of business. The NBA Summer League. Wembanyama is coming out here in a couple weeks for the NBA Summer League. So there's a lot of buzz about that. So Vegas has become kind of a sports hub. Growing up for me, it was just, Vegas was a place you went to sports bet. That was it, right? That was it was cool to go to the sports book. Now there's sports books everywhere. So now it has become a hub for professional sports. And I don't know, it looks like the A's are going to make it here, but I'm not sure if that's really a done deal. They've appropriated the money. We'll talk to Alan about that to see how much that's done. So, a lot of interesting things going on in Vegas here from the sports standpoint. And, obviously with the Golden Knights winning the Stanley Cup, it has really put them on the map. And, from what I hear, the cup is everywhere in Vegas. I mean, it is at every hotel, every bar, like it was in Tampa, but it's, at these clubs and everything else. So, we might see the cup tonight. Who knows?
That'd be great. I've never been to Las Vegas. You know me, my whole plane situation. I've never been to Las Vegas. It's never really been on my bucket list, if I'm being honest, either, because it doesn't seem like my kind of vibe. You know how I'm not a late night owl kind of guy.
Right.
And Las Vegas looks like one of those places where there's stuff going on at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning, probably. But everybody tells you though it's one of those places. It's like New York. You probably should go at least once.
Yeah,
and see it.
Yeah, you gotta come here and see it. It's a spectacle. It is an absolute spectacle in so many ways. And now, as I said, it's become, as a sportscaster, you're going to come here and cover big events. There's just, no way around it. And, nobody does big events like Vegas. That's what they say, right? Hey, listen, I like the way Tampa Bay does big events. It's a little different, obviously. You've got the beaches, the water, a lot of things for people to do in that realm. But Vegas is different. It's nightlife. It's big shows. I mean, everybody's out here doing a show. Keith Urban is here in residency. Who else do we see? Miranda Lambert is out here. Katy Perry's out here. Everybody's got a show out here. Kevin Hart is out here. They got a show. So, and there's, the Absinthe show is a big one, which we're going to. And O is another show with the big O. These acrobatic, kind of sexy shows out here. They're very, very big. So it's unlike any place, in America anyway. I know there's Dubai and some other places are very Vegas-esque, but it's just very different. And I'm not a late night club guy anymore either. I'm much more about going to the sports books and seeing some of the shows, but coming for an event like the golf event, it's going to be cool. It's going to be a really interesting vibe.
Is it in the city? Where's the course at? Is it like in the city or is it like on the outskirts?
There's like one golf course just off the strip, the Wynn, and that's where they do it. I'm pretty sure that's where they're having it. So I better find out because we got to go tomorrow. But yeah, that's where they did the other match, I believe. So yeah, it's right off the strip, and it's a possible golf course to get on. But that should be fun. I haven't really delved into it a lot, but Mahomes and Kelsey and Steph and Clay. I mean, Steph and Mahomes are really, really good golfers. I don't know about the other two. So I'm not exactly, but I know this. It's going to be entertaining. I think it's going to be really entertaining.
Hey, I learned yesterday because of the Bucs YouTube. I don't know if you saw it. Baker Mayfield's a 12 handicap.
Yes,
you see that little video they put out there?
He was out there playing with Casey Phillips, right?
With Casey Phillips, yeah, and he's a lefty. Of everything he does, he says he does golf as the one thing that he does lefty, and he revealed that he was a 12 handicap. It didn't look too pretty, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
and
really?
It looked like they were playing at like Rocky Point of all places. I couldn't really tell, but it looked like it was you could see cars going and everything looked flat and kind of like just palm trees randomly sprouted. It looked like Rocky Point. And I was like, what are we doing playing at Rocky Point?
What are we doing, Buccaneer? Well, it is the closest golf course. Well, no, they could have gone to Palmacia. All they do is call me, and actually our course is closed right now, so couldn't have done that. But yeah, right, we're going to go do the Baker Mayfield golf story at Rocky Point.
I could not. I don't know.
Who's the producer of this event?
They didn't specify what it was. I'm just trying to use my visuals. It looked like it could have been Rocky Point, but again, another little telltale. It tells me that I think I know who the starter is going to be. We're going out of our way to make a long video like that of him playing golf with the social media team.
Yeah, I think it's poor Kyle Trask. He just doesn't get the opportunity that he's. You know what though? I think at some point he'll get the opportunity. He'll get it. Whether it by injury or who knows. I think he's going to have an opportunity in the preseason. We'll see what happens. But I think by this point, all the signs point towards Baker Mayfield. I mean. But with the jargon that Todd Bowles has used in terms of moxie and those things that have showed up a couple times when he's talking about what he wants to see in his quarterback, every other telltale sign says it's Baker Mayfield, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing because if it was close, you would say, Baker Mayfield's not that very good, not very good, but it seems like it's not close. So it seems like Baker Mayfield has come in here and wowed these coaches with what he can do. And just seeing him run around out there, the little bit I saw in the one practice, he looks the part. He looks every bit the part. And we can't forget, the dude has got skills. He's got skills. I mean, do not forget, he can run. He can throw the ball 70 yards. He throws with high velocity. He's got a cannon for an arm. He throws very well on the run. He seems absolutely perfect for this offense. He's got targets. I think the offensive line's going to be good. It just, to me, that offense is all going to be dependent on how they can get the communication going early on. Get the communication, get their assignments down, and that's going to be tough if they're splitting a lot of the reps. I was very much in for let's have a full-out competition, but if Baker Mayfield has already shown that he's head and shoulders above Kyle Trask, I think the coaching staff is going to move rather quickly to get him most of the reps and to get this team humming as quickly as they can to start this season.
Yeah, I would definitely pretty much agree with that. And by the way, real quick, because we're on Bucs, before we get to Alan Snell, you know what I just realized? Remember when we were having that Hard Knocks discussion about the Bucs briefly, and it looks like the Jets are going to get that. Did you remember the fact that the Jets and Bucs are having joint practices during training?
Oh, that's right.
I just was scrolling through Twitter here, and it ran in front of me here. August 16th and 17th, they have joint practices. And so if the Jets are, in fact, going to be on Hard Knocks, you will get a little bit of your Bucs fix there that we were talking about.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that episode's going to be fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, I did that. Good catch by you. That's good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll, maybe we, where do they trade? Don't they trade in like East Hempstead or something? The Jets, they don't train at their facility in nasty New Jersey, do they?
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
I think they go to some pretty place that's nice and cool in the summertime. That might be a nice little road trip for the JP Peterson Show, huh?
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we may see Dalvin Cook there as well. Lot of noise. Dalvin Cook to the Jets. I tell you what, if that happens, I mean they're the odds-on favorite to win the East anyway. I think they're right. Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, that defense.
I still told
Garrett
you.
Wilson.
I told you even right now, with how loaded the AFC is, I'm still not even sold that New York's getting to the postseason.
Really?
I'm not even banking on that. I'm not banking on that right now.
See if they get Dalvin Cook.
That might change things a little bit.
That could change things. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Alex Snell is going to join us from the LV Sports Biz Journal. We will talk to him and get a lay of the land here in Vegas, man. This has become a professional sports hotspot. The growth is amazing. We'll find out what's going on with the Oakland A's as well, as they're moving here to the Strip, evidently. So all things Vegas sports with former Tampa Tribune writer Alan Snell joining us next. Stay with us.
Hey, guys. guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex
baby,
drive,
got 3 minutes to run by.
flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had?
We'll break again at 10:30.
Chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. So do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by. Never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Tell them JP sent you. Get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Hey, JP here for Extravaganza Productions Incorporated, EPI. You've probably seen their purple logo at so many events that you've gone to. They are based in Tampa. And for over 33 years, they've been creating and producing conferences, meetings, and special events, the biggest to the smallest. Solid reputation of delivering the best audio-visual, sound, lighting, entertainment, video production, and decor on time and on budget. I've worked with them with so many big events. The Warrior Games, which was an Olympic-style event all over Tampa Bay, from McDill to the Convention Center to USF. They did it flawlessly, made it look big and fantastic. I've worked with them on small events as well, large and small meetings and conferences, sporting events, fundraisers. If you got a fundraiser, you don't know the logistical way to pull it off, they'll take care of everything. Entertainment events, branding events, grand openings, so much more. The folks at Extravaganza Productions are the most professional and the best. I've worked with them many times. They are fantastic. You can contact them through extravaganzaproductions.com or call 813-621-4700. Extravaganza Productions, they are awesome.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on Fan Stream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here live from Las Vegas as we enjoy a little vacation, a little working vacation out here. And let's welcome in our good friend Alex Snel, formerly of the Tampa Tribune, now working here in Las Vegas. LVSportsBiz.com is the website. He is the absolute go-to guy for anything sports business related, all things stadiums. And man, y'all building some stadiums out here, Alan. What's up, partner? How are you? Can you build me a baseball stadium in Tampa, for God's sakes?
JP, where you're staying, you're just a long 400-foot fly out to the proposed A's site right at the Tropicana corner. You know, things are crazy right now.
I'm looking at the corner right now. Oh, so that's where the stadium's going to go. Oh, okay. All right.
There you go. So, you know, this is a state and this is a market that is open to spending public dollars on subsidizing stadiums. I mean, JP, you have been at the forefront of covering the Rays' generation-long drama for their ballpark.
Yes.
And here you show up and bingo, you got $380 million toward a 30,000-seat retractable roof stadium at the corner of Tropicana, Las Vegas Boulevard. Frankly, it's unclear to me how they plan to wedge this retractable roof baseball stadium on 9 acres. Keep in mind that
Wow.
under the deal, the land deal specifies that the baseball park would have a 9-acre footprint of the 35 acres at the Tropicana Hotel site there. So, people are kind of wondering how they're going to shoehorn a retractable roof baseball stadium on 9 acres. That's kind of a tight fit.
Yeah.
But, in a matter of 8 days, JP, they passed. I mean, it's been years and years. I mean, can you imagine taking 8 days and getting public funding for a Tampa Bay Rays baseball stadium? Here in 8 days, they had 3 hearings, including a special session up in Carson City and the state assembly and the state senate. I was surprised, JP. They passed it actually pretty easily. It was not a close vote.
Wow.
It was, there was obviously some horse trading, and also the Republican governor here. We have a new governor, Joe Lombardo, who unseated the incumbent Democrat. Joe Lombardo obviously was behind the Oakland Athletics baseball initiative because he was working with 2 houses, the Senate and the Assembly, that are Democratic controlled. And
Wow.
somehow, he pulled it off. There was some horse trading. He vetoed some bills that were thrown back into the stadium bill to kind of get that to the finish line. So 30,000 seats, retractable roof right at the corner of Tropicana. That's the baseball stadium. Keep in mind, you have a front seat for the Formula One race. We have an F1 race November 18th. It's going to be like a 3-day extravaganza. They're paving, and that's another kind of public issue that has drawn some public controversy. The F1 organizers want $40 million from Clark County to pave this 3.8-mile circuit, which is going right in front of your hotel.
Right.
Then it's going to zip around Harmon, down Koval, down to – there's another incredible building called the Sphere, which I don't think too much sports would happen there. I think you're talking maybe a boxing match or UFC, but that's the most they can do. It's as you know, it's a Madison Square Garden building, 19,000 seats over there on the other end of the strip. And you have F1 coming in, and we're hosting the Super Bowl. I mean, Tampa has hosted the Super Bowl, so it's kind of old hat for the guys over at the Big Sombrero there. But it's a big deal here. It's the first Super Bowl. Raider Stadium will be hosting that, and we have a Final Four in a few years. So it's crazy. I mean, the bottom line is we have a state and a market that's willing to spend money, and as you know, that's tough. I mean, there's a lot of markets that just have shut the faucet on public money, or they're very limited. Here, the faucet is open.
Well, it's interesting. It's $380 million, which is basically what maybe that's about $60 million short of what Hillsborough County has offered the Rays just as an initial. And I think it'll go much higher than that when the initial deal is done. I expect that to be made public in about 30 days. I think that's what Ken Hagan is telling me, that Hillsborough County will have their next iteration. They were offering to pay for half the stadium back in 2018. So it's you need 2 to tango. It's up to, and actually now you need 3 to tango, and that's developer, public money, and then the private money that comes from the team. But you have to have an owner that's willing to bargain in good faith, and we just haven't had that in Tampa Bay. That's people could say all they want about Hillsborough County and Pinellas and why can't we get the stadium. The reason is Stu Sternberg. It's been him. It's always been him. He hasn't negotiated in good faith because he wants to run out the clock at Tropicana Field because he makes tons of money there. There's no reason for him to go spend money on a new stadium when he's printing money at Tropicana Field. Even when a lot of people don't show up, he's still making tons of money. So anyway, that's another story for another day, but that's why this is getting done in Oakland, because you have an ownership group in Oakland that wants to move here and get the deal done. And that's not the case.
Yeah, they actually did try to work with the city of Oakland for a good 3 or 4 years in terms of a really interesting concept. it was going to be kind of like a Stan Kroenke Inglewood kind of deal,
Yeah.
where it was going to be a stadium that was going to be at the center of a massive redevelopment project. It was a
Right.
$12 billion project at their waterfront, at their port, and it sounded pie in the sky, but they were not too far away from that. And that's kind of the tragedy. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've been out to Oakland. I've learned a lot about the Athletic fans, JP. They are an amazing,
Yeah.
passionate, crazy, zany bunch. And it's killing them to see their team move to Las Vegas. Keep in mind, the one thing to keep in mind is we don't even have a civic organization that has
Right.
recruited the Oakland A's at all. In fact, you had a group pop up in Salt Lake City. As you know, you got those guys over in Orlando, which, believe it or not,
Don't worry about
Orlando
that.
gets they get more visitors than even Las Vegas. A lot of the Oakland Athletic Stadium deal here in Las Vegas is really predicated on the fact that tourists and visitors will be a big chunk of the fans going
Yeah,
to the game.
how do you think that's going to work? Have you seen the Vegas the hockey team, which we need to talk about as well?
Right.
Is that mostly local, or are you getting a lot of tourists? Because to me, it seems like there's a lot of local pride in that hockey team, and I think it seems like most of those fans are local here. Am I wrong?
Well, you have a really interesting juxtaposition. You have the Vegas Golden Knights, and the secret sauce is that they're homegrown. They came on board. Their first regular season home game was 9 days after the October 1st tragedy on the Strip here.
Oh, God.
And they have an emotional lock on this market, JP.
Yeah.
I mean, the Golden Knights, you should have seen the celebration 10 days. You just missed the celebration here 10
Yeah.
days ago. 200,000 strong, lining the Strip, lining the plaza, filling the plaza in front of the hockey arena. It was a euphoric outpouring of civic joy that I've never seen anywhere. First major league team, first homegrown team, even with a crazy name like the Golden Knights, which has nothing to do with like Southern Nevada or the desert.
Right.
Regardless of the brand name, people are in love with the Golden Knights. You contrast that versus the Oakland Athletics. Really, it's been only the politicians and the unions and the trades and the chambers of commerces that have really mentioned, their support for the Oakland Athletics. And you're talking about two completely different animals. And regarding the tourists, the folks who spoke on behalf of the stadium at the state level was the president and CEO of our tourism agency, Steve Hill, who heads the LVCVA, and also his sidekick, Jeremy Aguero, who is the local consultant. He's kind of the go-to sports business guy here in terms of representing everything sports. They were the two guys who made the pitch to the state legislature, and they believe that 30% of the fans at the Oakland Athletic games here in Las Vegas will be tourists. Keep in mind that this stadium is scheduled, if Major League Baseball approves it, 75% of the owners still have to approve the deal. If they approve the deal, this stadium doesn't open until 2028. I mean, you have 5 years.
Yeah.
They'll probably play 2024 in Oakland at the Coliseum. Very similar situation, to you guys in Tampa Bay, horrible, facility.
Yep.
And then they have to find a place for 2025, 26, and 27.
Well, can they play at the AAA team? Because the AAA
Well,
team,
that's where I live. I live, I'm talking to you about 12, 13 miles west of the Strip in Summerlin. It's a hardcore suburb. It's the doorstep into Red Rock Canyon, which is a beautiful area here. It's a big state conservation area. There is a very nice baseball park. In fact, since you're in town, JP, I invite you to come out. You should check out the stadium. It's a 10,000 seat open air stadium. There's a lot of cool amenities in it: swimming pool, 22 suites, big club area behind home plate that's on the second level. I mean, it's a great minor league stadium. And there has been talk of the big league team bunking up with their AAA team for 3 years. But keep in mind, it's hot here in the summer. It's open air. They're going to be playing in 100, 105 degrees. Even at 7 p.m., it's still like oven hot here. So there's been talk about maybe playing and sharing the Giants stadium or going to Sacramento. That's still up in the air. But to your point, tourism is going to be a major part of the athletic stadium success. And keep in mind, the local county is Clark County. They're on the hook under the bill to float and to sell $120 million worth of bonds toward the stadium.
Wow.
And the way they're financing it is that all the money that is going to be charged on 17 different taxes and fees at that 9-acre stadium footprint. That's it. So, like if you buy a beer or a hot dog or a shirt or even an Uber ride, they're going to figure out how to like charge Uber rides to the stadium. That money will be collected, and that will pay off, hopefully, over 30 years, the $120 million plus interest.
Well, at 380, and we got another guest coming up here in a little bit. We'll have to cut it short, but 380 ain't going to pay for that stadium. I mean, that's got to
be. So John Fisher, the owner, has committed to paying $1.1 billion, and the Athletics have promoted their deal by saying it's the biggest single investment by a major league team in their own stadium.
So he's going to come up with $1.1 billion
right,
to the stadium.
Exactly. Can you imagine?
He wouldn't come up. If he'd have done that in Oakland, they could have kept it there.
I know. Can you imagine Stu Sternberg coming to the table with $1 billion?
Yeah, no, he's got it. He's made it on the Rays. Hey, and here's a little tidbit. He's got an offer on his desk for $1.5 billion, and maybe the price may be up to $1.75 billion. The offer that he has now on his desk, and it's not enough. He wants more.
It's that's kind of a sad.
Think about that,
JP. You have, and I mean, I went to the games too. I was there. In I think it was at 2009 when they went to the World Series.
08, yeah.
08. It's an exciting team. I mean, it's a successful team.
And the Trop is not bad when it's full. It's not terrible when it's full, but it's just not. It's just not a modern stadium with modern amenities.
It doesn't have all the modern amenities that you see in the retro style stuff that you see.
Even though my partner Nick loves it, it is still called the Slop. Well, Alan, let's listen. We'll definitely get together for a beer while I'm here. I want to talk some more and find out what's going on with this baseball stadium. And
we haven't even talked about the favorite team right now, the Las Vegas Aces of WNBA.
Oh, the Aces. That's right. The Aces. They got a big game tomorrow, right?
Huge game against the New York Liberty. It is an incredible experience. You'll see 10,000 people packing an arena that's actually not too far from you. It's at Mandalay Bay. It's the Michelob Ultra Arena. You can get over there. 10,000 people strong, and
wow,
it's quite a show. I mean, and it's basically an all-star team. JP, they have an all-star team. They added Candace Parker, who is really one of the biggest basketball personalities. Even, I mean, she's a big network, analyst for the NBA as well, besides just being one of the premier players. And they're playing a New York Liberty team that also has just completely revamped their lineup. It's a big deal here. I mean, they technically won the first major league, they won the first professional sports championship last year, and they also had a celebration on the Strip as well.
Well, you may not know this, but can you see this right here? That's the Las Vegas Smash.
Oh, there you go.
You see my shirt here, the Las Vegas Smash?
Oh, is that the Smash Ball?
It's Pro Padel League, PPL, Pro Padel League. It's the first North American Pro Padel League. It's called Paddle other places in the world. They call it Pro Padel League, and they just won the inaugural Pro Padel Cup. So that you have another championship there in Vegas. Vegas is now going to become Champa Vegas, I guess. Who knows? So there you go. I'll put you in touch with the owners. You can do a nice little story on them. They're great folks.
There you
go.
Really,
really cool folks. And they're going to be having home matches here, I think, next year. They did a big tournament in the Zephyr Hills area, and now they're going to take it to each individual place. So I'll keep you posted on them. They're fun, really
definitely.
Yeah. All right, Alan. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate you coming on. We'll LASportsBiz.com is the website, and tell the folks your Twitter where they can follow you.
Yeah, just check out LV Sports Biz on Twitter, and we have a special page on Facebook that we run all our stories as well, and we're on Instagram as well at lvsportsbiz.com. It's always fun to talk to you, JP. I always brings back memories of that building right on the Hillsborough there.
Fun times, man. Good times. Convergence, right? Media convergence. We were on the cusp of it, my friend. We were the first to do it. And,
the cutting edge, yes.
Cutting edge, yeah. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, you have a great time in Vegas, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Alex Snel, lvsportsbiz.com. Great website if you ever want to find out what's going on in sports business out here. All right, let's roll right into our good friend Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report. Without further ado, we'll get our commercials in later on. What's wrong, Scott? You look great. The hair's good.
I appreciate that, JP.
You got FOMO because I'm in Vegas and you're not? Is that?
Yeah. I feel so bad for you that you're stuck out there in the desert, my friend.
It's horrible, bro.
Just wishing you well and a speedy recovery and come back to Tampa. We miss you.
Yeah. I guess it was 98 degrees last night when we were walking.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, it felt like
bad at all.
It felt like 75 in Tampa. Really, it wasn't. You weren't sweating. It was not.
Yeah, there's no humidity. And it's crazy because you don't sweat out there, right? Like it evaporates the minute that it surfaces on your skin, and so you don't have the illusion that you feel like you're in an oven, right? Like there's that bake effect, but. I'm not talking about Baker Mayfield yet. We'll get into it in a minute, but it's a different bake effect than it is in Tampa where it's so muggy. My wife Ashley and I, we were out there 2 summers ago, and we were stayed at Mandalay Bay, and we saw Randy Houser in concert. Great country artist, and it was the cool thing is it took place in the pool, like they've got this big wave pool and stuff out back behind the resort, and it got down to 109 degrees at night. It was 119 during the day, so it cooled off a whopping. Yeah, it cooled off to 109 degrees at night, and but the thing is when the sun goes down, it's like you feel it, but it's not like you're baking. And we were in the pool watching the concert, so it was a blast.
That doesn't suck. No, and I think we might get to see Keith Urban while we're here. He's got
nice.
a residency going. So
cool.
And then going to go see Absinthe, the show Absinthe, which is
heard about that.
One of the best shows out here in which is another one of the great shows out here.
Well, just stay strong, JP. We're praying for you.
I'm doing it for you guys. I
sacrifice. That's cool.
I do this for my audience.
That's awesome.
Someone's got to do
Somebody
it.
has to, so it might as well be you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so you mentioned Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And the Bucs had him out at that beautiful Rocky Point.
Yeah.
Which I must say, they've redone the clubhouse. They've paved the parking lot.
All right.
They've done a lot of. And my good friend Bobby.
So less rocky out there.
It's less rocky.
Okay.
It's actually they fixed it up nice. They put a lot of money into it.
All right.
So they had. You should go out there and try it sometime. It's very nice.
I would do that. Yeah.
It's not quite, some of the other golf courses we have that they could have taken Baker Mayfield out to, but they did take him out there to play a little golf, left-handed, which I didn't realize he was a left-handed golfer.
Interesting.
Very interesting. But the point I made earlier was, because I think we all know by now, just from the verbiage coming out of One Buck Place, he's the guy, right?
Yeah,
he's
no
the
doubt.
guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's great because I think if in this short period of time, if he's already won the job, that means he's impressed the coaches tremendously.
Yes.
And I think that if you're a Buccaneer fan, you got to say to yourself, you know what, this guy's got a chance to really be, the Geno Smith of 2023.
He very well could. And the interesting thing is when the media was out there at the Advent Health Training Center once per week, which is just on Tuesdays, right? That was always Baker Mayfield's day. And then we asked Todd Bowles, well, are you splitting the reps? Is this a legitimate? Yeah, we're splitting the reps. Okay. So it's not always Baker's day; it's Kyle's day. We alternate days. Okay. Well, the thing is there's 3 practices a week: Baker, Kyle, Baker. End of the week. The next week, Baker, Kyle, Baker. So they're splitting them, but it wasn't 50-50. Right? It was 2-1, and I think that's a good thing because if Baker is the guy, he deserves more of the reps to help get this team ready for Minnesota, right? In week 1, and I'm okay with that. At the same time, though, we had Dave Canales on the Pewter Report podcast last Thursday.
Great interview, bro.
Holy
Fantastic
smokes.
interview.
Well, I mean, we just asked the questions. He was the star of the show. I mean, usually that's what happens when the guest comes on. But, I mean, this guy was phenomenal. It was, and the great thing is this, he's like this. You've been to his press conferences. He's very open. He's very thorough. He's very detailed and candid. And but the thing is is when you're in the press conference environment, you have to share the questions, right? Like we'll get ours in. Jenna from ESPN, Rick from, the Times, you're there asking questions. And so, News Channel 8, everybody, like it's split up. And so you don't kind of get into that rhythm like you do when you're running back and you're
follow up with,
getting fed the ball, right?
Yeah.
But when he was on our podcast, it was 35 minutes of just like we get on a roll with Dave, and it was phenomenal. So if you're a Buccaneer fan, we'll get to the promos at the end of this interview, but like go to Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel, watch that.
It's fantastic.
It's a great interview. Very thorough. Answer.
What did you learn? What did you take away? I took away so much. We did a whole segment on our show about it and pointed people to it. What did you really take from it?
A couple things. Energy and fun.
Yeah.
He wants football to be fun. And football is fun when you're winning, but like you can also be miserable and fun at the same time. Look at the 2002 Buccaneers, right? Keyshawn Johnson was miserable, but he was winning, and winning cures all ills, right? And then the next year, they weren't winning. They started off hot, and then Tony Dungy's birthday and Monday Night Football, the Colts implosion, and then it went downhill fast. And then all of a sudden, Keyshawn suspended, sent home, and then he's off the team. And, he's fighting with Sapp and all that stuff. But winning it makes football fun. But Dave is also a big believer in, like, having fun during practice, having a fun offense, right? That is horizontal based, but it's also vertical based, right? It's got the deep shots from Mike, and Chris, and it's got the bootlegs, the waggles, and the short little throws to the running backs, the tight ends, the crossers, the slants, for the receivers to catch the ball on the run and get yards after catch. And his approach to it is just high energy. It's up tempo, and I think that makes it fun, because the reason why Warren Sapp was like John Gruden's favorite player here in Tampa, even though he was on the defensive side, is because Sapp loved the game of football, right? He loved practice. Sapp didn't wait till Sundays to put on the show. Warren Sapp, say what you want about Derek Brooks and John Lynch and Ronnie Barber, Sapp was the fire starter for this team, okay? And Sapp's energy in those dog days of December, right, when everyone's body's beat up and all of that, was still like at the high level. So it's Wednesday. He's like, come on, let's go. He's treating it like a game day. And Gruden always loved that about Sapp, because Gruden was a high energy guy. Right. And Canales reminds me of Gruden in that aspect, where he's just up tempo, high energy. Come on, guys, let's go. And there's a believability about him. This guy's not called one play.
Yeah, I know.
Since like high school, right? But like he makes you believe. Everything he says is logical, right? There's logic to it. The reason why he likes this horizontal offense is, what I mean by that is all the eye candy, the misdirection, is the bootlegs, the waggles. It tires the defense out. There's a lot of running. Yeah. When you're just going straight up the field, right, as a defensive player, you're filling your gaps, you're rushing the passer, everything's straight ahead, and that favors the defense, because they want to attack the line of scrimmage, get sacks, tackles for losses, everything. But when you have a horizontal-based offense and you're running zone plays, the defense, well, guess what? Like, you're trying to fill your gap. Now the gap's moved. It's moving this way. You got to move that way. And for every step laterally you're taking, you can't penetrate the line of scrimmage. And it wears defenses out. Look no further than Todd Bowles and the Bucs finally beat who this year? The Rams, right? Yeah. The Rams beating the Bucs when it mattered, and even like the last 3 times during the regular season, it certainly mattered in that NFC playoff game. And they finally beat him on a last-second touchdown. It was a depleted Rams team, too. It was not the best version of the Rams by any means.
Oh, no.
But this defense, the Todd Bowles defense, is a very good defense. Yet the Rams scheme, which a lot of Canales' system is based on, has given Todd Bowles fits. Look at the 49ers game. Same type of concepts, right?
Yep.
A lot of wide zone, a lot of horizontal motion and all this stuff. And look at the score last year. They got their asses kicked in San Francisco. And 49ers are a good team, better than the Rams.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, this offensive system works, and Todd Bowles knows it. And for him to hire a guy that's like, hey, let me look around the league. What offenses give my good defenses fits? This one. Right? And, I'm just thoroughly impressed. I would be shocked if this doesn't work. I'm at the point where I believe. And if this guy, if he can walk the walk like he talks the talk, this Bucs offense is going to surprise a lot of people.
Totally agree. Nick, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, we've been talking the running game too. I think is going to be a big part of that, and we've been talking a lot in the recent days. Yesterday, a lot about Rachaad White, and we went back and listened to what he said after mandatory minicamp and his expectations. And we think that 1,000 yards almost might be selling it short. It
might be. It might be. Yeah.
What are your kind of realistic expectations and how important he's going to be to this puzzle?
I look at Kenneth Walker last year, who was a rookie in Seattle right now. Now, Rachaad already has that rookie year under his belt. I don't care what team you go to. It's welcome to the NFL, kid, right? Yeah, wherever you go. If you go to a crappy team, if you go to the Super Bowl champion, team, if you're on the Eagles or Chiefs or whatever, like everybody has their welcome to the NFL moment, right? Rashaad's already got that out of the way. For Kenneth Walker last year, he was a 1,000-yard rusher in an offense that scored 21 points per game, which was that league average. 4,000-yard passer in Geno Smith, first-time Pro Bowler, NFL Comeback Player of the Year, and they had a pair of 1,000-yard receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So I would not be shocked if Rachaad White, if Kenneth Walker can do it as a rookie, I wouldn't be surprised if Rachaad White can do that and still get Mike Evans his 1,000 and still get Chris Godwin his 1,000. And I wouldn't be surprised if Baker Mayfield, who's capable, he can sling the rock, of getting 4,000 yards as well. And I don't think it's going to take long. Now, I do think there's going to be some hiccups. I think there's going to be some bad days at the office. I think there's going to be, some welcome to the NFL as a play caller moments for Dave Canales. He's going to make some mistakes. Yep. There's going to be a learning curve for him. And so I have no illusions that it's not like the Buccaneers offense is going to take the league by storm. There's going to be some bumpy days. There is. And I think they're going to lean on this Todd Bowles defense during that opportunity. But the one thing I love about Todd Bowles, and I wasn't sure if Dave Canales went to Bowles and said, hey, can you institute some call-it periods? Or if Bowles, kind of said that. And Canales, I asked him on the podcast, and he said, no, this is all Todd Bowles. And thank God he did it, because I need these call-it periods. And what I mean by that is usually practices are scripted. Usually the offensive defensive coaches get together and say, hey, let's work on some slant passes. My defense needs help defending the slant. All right. We have all these guys we have to rotate through, our nickels, our linebackers, first team, second team, third team. So let's spend, an 8 to 12 minute period on slants, right? You work on throwing them. We'll work on defending them. And, and we'll have like I want to work D Delaney. So make sure that the slant on the fourth play goes, to his side, right? That's the scripted practice. That's what coaches often do. Bowles said, this guy needs help calling live game type situations. So we're going to have a period that is third and short, okay? And part of it will be 3rd and 5, part of it will be 3rd and 2, then 3rd and 1, etc. And you just call it. I'm going to call it, and you call it. So Bowles didn't know what Canales was going to do. And Canales didn't know what Bowles was going to do. And these periods were like 18 minutes long, longer than the usual periods. And these are 11 on 11s. And they don't fool around. Usually OTAs is kind of boring. It's like calisthenics, individuals, install. And then like you're an hour into practice. Okay, let's get together for an 8-minute 11 on 11 period. No, these dudes jumped into it like 20 minutes in practice. We warmed up or we done our indies. Boom. And they would spend literally half the practice in different 11 on 11 periods designed to get Dave Canales, because whether you do it at the high school level, the college level, the NFL level, the Pee Wee level, like I had to with Pop Warner, it's like you got 20, 30 seconds. You got to, where are you on the field? What personnel groupings do you want on? What hash are you on? What's the down and distance? It's a lot of information to process, and you got to come up with the personnel grouping you want, the formation, the play call that's going to, and then expect the defense based on film study of what they're going to give you and how to exploit that. And it's a lot happening like that. And this practice will continue. There will be some scripted periods in training camp. Canales and Bowles both said that. But this is good, high-level stuff from Bowles here to make sure that his rookie coordinator is as prepared as he can be for this upcoming season.
And don't you think it was kind of pretty telling then too? The comment, I think Levante David made it, and I'm trying to remember exactly, but I might be paraphrasing here about, they're giving us looks that, we've never seen before. Right? It was something like that. And it got some national play, in the media because, people tried to take it, well, this is a shot at the Tom Brady offense and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is overblowing it. But still, do you
Right.
think that was a pretty telling sign that he said that? I mean, given the fact that, he just looked at a Tom Brady-led offense for 3 years in practice every day, and this one, with
Yes.
a guy who's never called to play,
It's completely
I've never
different.
seen
Yeah.
this before.
Yes. It really reminds me of when John Gruden came in 2002 and brought his West Coast offense, right? Because for years we had seen kind of Dungy ball in effect, right? And Gruden was very up-tempo slants, they would do like a bootleg or a waggle with levels, right? Where you've got the short, intermediate, and then deep shot. And basically you're just reading the safety. As the safety come up, you go over top. The safety drops back, you go underneath, right? And Brad Johnson was just able to execute that flawlessly. But I remember the first, because Gruden was a new coach, they had a pre-draft minicamp. And I remember the Bucs defense struggling, and John Lynch telling me after that first practice, like, holy crap, like, we don't get beat in practice.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why the Bucs offense sucked under Tony Dungy, because the defense beat the living crap out of the offense every single day.
Demoralized them.
Demoralized them. They couldn't get anything to work on Sundays. That's why the Bucs defense was so great, because it had to be, because they got nothing done on the offensive side during the week that worked. But now all of a sudden Gruden comes in with this offense, and when you're fooling the likes of John Lynch, and Ronnie Barber, some really smart dudes, it takes a hold, and that's kind of the sea change that we're seeing with this offense. Without giving away like a trade secret here, I'm not going to talk about the formation, other than there were like 3 tight ends in this one particular play, and they give you the look like, okay, it's going to be run heavy. And then I'm not going to like diagram the play for you, because that would be like not cool. But these 3 tight ends like all shifted out, and they went empty shotgun out of this. And you're just like, whoa, and then they ran the play and it worked. And the guy that was getting the ball was wide open, wide open. And it just stuff like that gets you excited. And you know me, I'm a defensive guy. I don't like offense.
Right.
But like, I'm looking at this going, oh man, this is This is some imagination. This is some creativity, whether it's from Canales' brain or he's borrowing from the best, which is like stealing, which is fine. That's what everybody in the NFL does.
Exactly.
Great. As long as it works.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's got me excited about the offensive line, because all this misdirection, all that stuff is going to help these guys out tremendously.
Yeah.
And they're an athletic bunch. They're a talented bunch. They've got good talent. Now they've got to put it all together.
Yeah.
I'm still a little weary of Gedeke, to be quite honest with you.
Sure.
I'd probably like to see Hainsey in that spot, but I know they got to keep Hainsey for the interior guys and backing them up. But I still think, and I was taken aback a little bit. I don't know if we've talked about this when Tristan Wirfs talked about his transition. I think we in the media are making it a lot easier because we believe in Tristan Wirfs.
Yes.
And he seemed to be a little bit more hesitant than I thought he would be about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that bug you at all, or
no? I think Tristan's a very humble guy to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think he doesn't want to let anybody down. And so he feels this pressure, and that he in his mind, he doesn't want to make it seem easy, right? Because he wants to work at it and get really, really good at it. And I think for him, just being better than Donovan Smith or just being a really good left tackle is not sufficient for him.
Yeah.
For him, in his mind, he has to become a Pro Bowl / All-Pro left tackle, and he has to do it now. And that's the type of pressure he's putting on himself. And you combine that with the dude's athletic gifts and talents, and like usually you could say pencil him in as a Pro Bowler. I'm putting it in pen. I'm not doubting Tristan Wirfs. So I'm fine with him kind of almost kind of verbalizing some self-doubt, because all that does is it lets you know he's thinking about it all the time. It's, I can't be good, I have to be great. I can't be great, I got to be elite, right? I don't give up sacks on the right side. I can't give up sacks on the left side, right? I have to be perfect at this. And that's all you want from any NFL players, to perfect their craft. And to see this guy take it that seriously and then verbalize that, like, I'm fine with that. Just like Dave Canales. I mean, he said, like, thank God Todd Bowles is doing these call-up periods. I need it. Like, I need this work. I need this help, and it's that humility that I'm totally fine with. The other thing too is with Tristan is he's finally, and I've had some like private conversations with him. Like last year, I'm like, dude, Ryan Jensen is not here. I mean, he's here. You see him, but he's like, in the training tub. Like, this is your offensive line. Like, I know that you're still the young guy and all that. Like, that's BS, dude. This is your offensive line. That's right. Because guess what? In 5 years, you're the only person out of this entire offensive line room that will be here. And you'll be here probably 10 more years after that. So this is your room. You need to take control of it. I don't give a crap about your age. I don't give a crap about, well, these guys have been here longer. No, you're the Pro Bowl guy. You're the only All-Pro. Like, you are right now the most decorated offensive lineman in Bucs history, right? More than Tony Mayberry, more than Paul Gruber. It's you. And you got to realize that. And he's like, yeah, I think I've been trying to take on more of a leadership role. I'm like, do it. You have the gravitas. You have the personality. You have the credentials. It's your show. And I think that he's really kind of taken to that, not just for me. The coach has been saying that in his ear like the entire time. Right. But and it's good to see him step up to the plate like that,
Yeah, I just had a couple. Or go ahead, JP. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nick. Go.
Yeah, I just had a couple like kind of non-play kind of stuff real quick, just to ask you. But these are things that I keep up with. Yeah. So obviously, I'm excited for the creamsicles. JP's not. Players are excited about the creamsicles.
Only once a year, JP. You'll be fine.
Only once a year. But is it sounding like, by the way, because I was listening to some of the players talk about it, and maybe they've seen it, a preview of it or anything. It's going to be a little different, right?
Reimagined is how the team phrases it. Yeah, it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same uniform. Kind of raised our eyebrows a little bit when we had Rashad White on the podcast, and he kind of said that, like, whoa, wait a minute, it's going to be different. And then you heard Levante David's remarks. And the funny thing is, what people don't understand is when Levante was saying, like, yeah, it's it's not going to be the same ones I wore in 2012, right? Everyone in the media is like, oh, is it going to be different? Now, what maybe you guys didn't see, I saw from my vantage point, because I was to Levante's right, was Jeff Ryan, who works with the Buccaneer radio broadcast, and he's a fixture at the press conferences and stuff from an audio video standpoint, and he's a Buccaneer employee. Jeff Ryan was in the back of the media with all the cameras facing Levante. He was in the back going like that. So that tells me right there that, yeah, there was more to the story, and Levante was not supposed to let anything else out of the bag. Levante saw that and, zipped his lips. But, yeah, I think we're going to see
got the nuclear codes? Is that what?
Yes. Yeah, he's got the codes.
It's a freaking jersey, for God's sakes, people.
We're going to see a more reimagined, that's their term, but like an updated version of Bucko Bruce. And I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be cool.
I'm going to spend way too much money on it, is all I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend way too much.
Listen, I'll tell you what. After these monstrosities right here, okay?
Oh, God.
That jersey. And the only reason I have it is because the team gave it to me for my 20th year. I'm waiting to – I got two more years, and then I'll be on this Bucs beat for 30 years. And maybe the team will give me –
creamsicle. Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, maybe they'll give me like a pewter jersey that would be appropriate for Pewter Report. But I'll update it then, and I'll get rid of this one. Plus, it's Rondé Barber. I mean, it's number 20. I got to keep that. But my point is, thank God Rondé didn't play in these monstrosities. But when the team went back to their 2002, Tony Dungy, John Gruden jerseys, right? The current look now, which is like the classic red and pewter look, which is what they're wearing, like home run. And you know what? I even like the fact that they updated the helmet with the new flag logo and swords. It looks more modern. It's bigger. When it came out in 1997, it looked cool, but now it looks a little cartoonish compared to the current helmet. Yeah. So I think between the helmets, going back to the classic red and pewter, and then even introducing the all pewter, which it's a cool alternate. The Buccaneers, the arrow's pointing up for their jerseys and their uniforms and their swag. So I'm excited to see what type of little tweaks and stuff that they've done to the the throwback Bucko Bruce creamsicles. I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I'm excited to see what they've done to the offense, much more than the creamsicle.
Yes.
All right, so in honor of Vegas, we have to do a couple of prop bets, and I wasn't able to find a whole bunch of them player-wise, but we could kind of talk just in general.
Yep.
The win total obviously is out at 6.5.
I'm taking the over on that.
Yeah, I'm taking the over on that.
Taking
as
the
well.
over.
Here's an interesting bet: plus 360. Plus 360. Great value here.
Okay.
Bucs making the playoffs.
I wouldn't rule it out because the schedule this year is easier than it was last year. I mean, the Eagles and the 49ers are on it, and they're still in division, right? I still can't tell you that there is a front runner in this division, right?
No.
So
at plus 360, jump it.
I'm all about that. And they're also playing the other, at least, per last year, the other crappy division, which is the AFC South. Texans, Colts, Titans, Jaguars, right? Jaguars won the division with 9 wins, right? And as much as you'd like to think, Jaguars are, they've arrived, right? The Lions are also in the schedule. They've arrived. Not so fast. I'm just reminding people in 1997, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers arrived, and everybody the next year bought the hype. I mean, the Buccaneers in 1998.
The players.
Yeah, damn right. 1998, the Bucs were Super Bowl bound and NFC champions and all of that. The players bought the hype. They finished 8-8.
Yep.
And it was a shock to the system. Warren Sapp came in at 330 pounds. He was overweight. Everybody was buying the hype. They underwhelmed, and then they got their act together the next year. And that 8-8 season was the catalyst for 11-5 the next year and going to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, all right. So I like both those bets. The plus
I like those bets too.
Especially that's almost 4-1.
If there's a prop bet for Mike Evans and 1,000 yards, I'm smashing that too.
I think Rashad White is a great prop.
I think so too.
I think people are underestimated. You look at the offense that they're going to run, and look at the players. And I think Chris Godwin is going to have a monster year. And I don't know if he's going to be used in that Cooper Kupp kind of situation, because I think Canales will put his best receiver in that situation. And I think I don't want to go back and forth with Mike. They're both fantastic, but I think Godwin is more versatile.
Yeah, and Godwin's going to see more time outside down the field, right? Yeah. That's the thing. And so that's going to keep Chris healthier, because when you're playing in the slot, which he was that Larry Fitzgerald role in Bruce Arians' offense, and just all of the pounding he took, right? I mean,
a
lot of blocking.
Blocking
linebackers, crack down on defensive ends. Yeah. That wears you, right? And also, too, remember we would see Chris motion across the formation and actually be the lead blocker through the hole sometimes, right? So he's in the line of scrimmage at 205 pounds, trying to take on linebackers and block them out of the hole. Plus, just having to navigate, right? Getting rerouted by a linebacker and then getting jammed by a safety. I mean, now it's Chris. Go outside and win a one-on-one against a cornerback, and show us you can still do that. And I think he can. I think the explosion came back by the end of last year. Now he has not had to rehab. He's been able to rest, right? He worked his butt off to get back by the start of the season last year in Dallas. And now he's had to rest this offseason and recover. And I think his body is really feeling good. And you know what? Mike Evans is a problem on one side.
That's right.
Chris Godwin's a problem on the other, right? And then that's going to open up things for that slot receiver and for the tight ends and for the backs out of the backfield too.
Who wins that slot job? Or you think they're just? I mean, I've heard Mike Evans is playing in the slot sometime.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're going to move Mike around a lot, which is going to get him way open.
Correct. Yeah, if you look at DK Metcalf, right, he plays that X position a lot, that weak side wide receiver. Which is what Keyshawn Johnson played. I mean, Mike has played that spot for most of his career here in Tampa, but they will move him inside in the slot to take advantage of some matchups and move him around. And they did that with DK Metcalf in Seattle. So yeah, I think that slot receiver is going to be a merry-go-round, right? You're going to see Chris there, you're going to see Mike there, and you're going to see whoever wide receiver number 3 is. Either Russell Gage, Trey Palmer has been killing it. This rookie looks legit. Kalen Geiger got some love as a slot receiver on the Dave Canales podcast. So he's a name to kind of keep an eye on. He was a practice squad guy last year. Devin Tompkins has looked really good. So I don't know that you're going to have that traditional like down in, down out slot receiver like Chris was last year. It's funny. The only time Chris didn't play in the slot was when he was like flanked out wide for a wide receiver screen to catch defenses off guard, right?
Right. Yeah, crazy. All right, tell everybody where they can find that Dave Canales interview, number one, and everything else going on at Pewter Report.
Yeah, it's Pewter Report TV, which is our YouTube channel. We do podcasts 4 times a week during the off season. Mondays and Tuesdays at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays we go prime time at 7 p.m. So we have one tonight at 7 p.m. We spent yesterday's podcast talking about the PFF rankings for the Bucs offense. Now we get into the PFF rankings for the defense. Tomorrow night we've got another Buccaneer guest, rookie tight end Payne Durham at 7 p.m. So you might want to tune in for that. I'm dismayed at my staff for booking all of these offensive players. We've had Cody Mauch, we've had Luke Gedeke, we've had Rashad White, we've had Dave Canales. Now we have Payne Durham.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, we need some defensive players, please.
Well, the defensive guys are older and get paid more, so they're not going to do it.
Actually, we're going to have Rondé Barber on soon, too.
Good.
Just because
I've heard he's a pretty good guest.
He's a pretty good guest. He's going to the Hall of Fame, so it might be fun to have him.
By the way, are you going to that? Because I'm going up there. Yeah. Myself and my son and I are going up for that. It's
awesome.
Gonna be fun.
Yeah, Ashley and I are going up there, and, I've never been because it always falls during training camp, and we cover training camp like nobody else, so for me to break away and I told Sap I would, and I didn't, wasn't able to, but it's like, they've had Sap and Brooks and Lynch and Dungy and I promised Rondé, because Rondé is my all-time favorite Buccaneer. We're not supposed to have favorites in the media.
Same.
He's my all-time favorite, covered every minute of his years in Red and Pewter, just like you did. And he's number one. And as a matter of fact, I told him we were at the K-State season opener last year, watching the game, and I said, if you finally get in the Hall of Fame, I'm going out there, and he did, and so I've already booked the trip, and we're going, and it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. I couldn't get my Ashley to go. She's like, I'm not going to Ohio. I'm not going to Canton, Ohio. No, take me to Vegas, yes, but I'm not going to Ohio. And it worked out because my son was like, there you go. Love to go, because he's he's known Rondé all his life, and he's really jacked about going. So it's going to
be a blast. We'll see you out there, and make sure you visit our mothership, pewterreport.com, for all the Bucs news. We've got a ton of content coming out this summer, so I know you're on summer vacation, people, and that's fine. But make sure
vacation for Bucs talk.
Never Bucs vacation for us. So we have plenty of content on there, and then follow us on social media at Pewter Report on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
All right, Scotty, I'm going to drop a hundo just for you and bring you back a ticket on the Bucs to make the playoffs plus 360. There you go.
That would be awesome. Love it.
That'll pay for your next Vegas trip. All right, brother.
Thanks, guys.
See you, man.
Appreciate
Thanks. Great Scott Reynolds right there. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Actually, it might be a little bit longer because we skipped that break.
Yeah, and I was going to tell you, by the way, we have breaking news in the NHL world involving your Tampa Bay Lightning, so we got to get to that right on the other side of the break.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so some hockey talk coming your way here. Live from Vegas, baby. We will be back. Our thanks to the Jeeves Law Group, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo will join us tomorrow. Italiano Insurance, the Golden Diamond Source, Extravaganza Productions, and American Mortgage Service. Thanks to all of our great sponsors, and we appreciate you sending me out here to Vegas so I can gamble all your money away. Back in 3. Stay with us.
This is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz, the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com.
During COVID, over 1.7 million people were added to the Florida Medicaid rolls, but as of April 1st, 2023, most of these people may not be eligible for the Medicaid coverage and will lose their health plan. If you have been notified you are losing your coverage, don't freak out. It's very likely you can apply for a federal subsidy under the Affordable Care Act. Just call 877-652-0244. Our representatives will walk you through the whole process, get some basic information on your income, number of kids, and then they'll find a plan that best fits your needs. In fact, with the new laws, 90% of Americans qualify for reduced or free health care. You can select great plans like Florida Blue. That's my carrier. Love them. Paying $800 left after making the call. 877-652-0244. Our highly trained professionals know all the intricacies of the new laws. They will do all the work. You save tons of money. So if you're being dropped from Medicaid, fear not. Call 877-652-0244. Get real health insurance, free doctor visits, free blood work, no deductibles. 877-652-0244.
Hey, JP here for Extravaganza Productions Incorporated, EPI. You've probably seen their purple logo at so many events that you've gone to. They are based in Tampa. And for over 33 years, they've been creating and producing conferences, meetings, and special events, the biggest to the smallest. Solid reputation of delivering the best audio-visual, sound, lighting, entertainment, video production, and decor on time and on budget. I've worked with them with so many big events. The Warrior Games, which was an Olympic-style event all over Tampa Bay, from McDill to the Convention Center to USF. They did it flawlessly, made it look big and fantastic. I've worked with them on small events as well, large and small meetings and conferences, sporting events, fundraisers. If you got a fundraiser, you don't know the logistical way to pull it off, they'll take care of everything. Entertainment events, branding events, grand openings, so much more. The folks at Extravaganza Productions are the most professional and the best. I've worked with them many times. They are fantastic. You can contact them through extravaganzaproductions.com or call 813-621-4700. Extravaganza Productions, they are awesome. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by. Never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to jeeveslawgroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 29 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here live from Vegas, baby. We'll be heading out here right after this to go check out some of the – I want to go check out some of the sports books around town, just see the different ones. Like Caesars is huge, and they just redone there. Mandalay Bay's got a big one, so I'm gonna do a little a perusing of the sports books today, and Lord knows what else we're gonna get into.
Well, I hope you made your bets. I hope you made your bets for some outgoings for the Tampa Bay Lightning, because we have our first of the offseason. The breaking news here from Elliot Friedman. The Lightning have traded Ross Colton. He's on the move to the Colorado Avalanche, and in exchange, the Lightning get pick number 37 overall, second-round pick in the NHL draft this season. So the Lightning
this one coming up. Okay.
This one coming up. They have the 37th overall pick in this draft now. Colorado acquired that pick yesterday in a trade with Montreal when they sent Alex Newhook out. So clearly Colorado making moves here to better their top nine there. And the Lightning shedding money a little bit, looking to regain some of the draft capital. And so there you go. That's the first big move of the offseason for the Lightning. I think this is just the beginning.
Yeah, a lot of people are speculating this is going to make room for an Alex Killorn contract.
Yeah, we had the report over the night or this morning from Dave Pagnotta from SiriusXM NHL Network that said the Lightning pitched a long-term offer with a low AAV to Killorn to stay in Tampa. Doesn't sound like it'll get done as of now. He's going to hit the market on July 1st unless Tampa Bay can move money, which obviously they did there with Ross. Now, Ross wasn't making a lot. I think he was just making $1 million, and he had one more year before he became an RFA.
Right.
I want to say. So they had some control on him, but I think his name, and Corey Long called this, a month ago?
He did.
He said Ross Colton was going to be moved, and there you go. So it definitely sounds like the Lightning are making that play there where they feel like their window is still open, and they're going to do everything they can to try to secure Alex Killorn because he gives them the best chance to win right now. And you move a future asset, we thought, in Ross Colton. But I think we've talked about this. I don't think Ross's game has moved along maybe at the pace that we expected. Is that fair to say? It looked like he's kind of flatlined a little bit, and his ceiling looks like he's just a third. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And he's scored some big goals for this team, but he's a third-line guy.
I'm sorry, who were you talking about?
Ross Colton.
Colton,
I think we talked about this. I feel like his progress is kind of flatlined, and
I
think he's a third-line guy.
Fair. I think that's fair to say. I really thought that he might be, a better player than that, be a top six forward. But it just hasn't happened. And for whatever reason, I think he's got some skills, and, I think he's got a great attitude. He fits in well with this team.
Physical player, good playoff guy.
Yeah. But, they've got to shed some salary to keep, if they're wanting to keep Killorn. And I guess, and Killorn obviously is on the back nine of his career. So but he had his best season ever last year. And I don't want to get, I don't want to get fooled by that and give him, some 6-7 year deal like the Tyler Johnson deal. I always thought the Tyler Johnson deal was a little aggressive. I thought it was too much money and for too long. And for a while that was a tough one for the Lightning to handle. I don't want to do that with Killorn. Later on in his career, but still had his best year. I think he's got another 2-3 really good years in him. But beyond that, I don't know.
This tells you though, we have this discussion with Killorn. Is he going to be a kind of guy that's going to take little to stay here, right? As many guys have. And if you believe the report that Pagnotta did, and I almost I try to not put as much stock because I think the Lightning keep things close to the vest,
right?
More often than not. So maybe you have to wonder: is this coming from a third-party source or a fourth-party source? I don't know if this is directly from the Lightning, from Pagnotta. I don't know. I'm speculating.
Right.
But if this is the case, though, and Killorn has basically told the Lightning that I'm not going to take less and stretch out the term, I mean, I don't know what else the Lightning can do without making another radical move. And at that point, you have to ask yourself, is that worth it to bring a guy who's going to be 34 next season, coming off his best year, which is usually dangerous when they're going into a contract year.
Right.
We know
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
And, is Killorn the right? Because they've let other guys go. I like Andre Palat. I guess that's, and I know they were in a bit of a different situation last year than this year, but they didn't make moves to keep Andre Palat. But they're going to try to make moves now to get rid of some of these future pieces to keep Killorn. So is that the right move? I mean, this is again, we've talked about this. This is really the biggest offseason for the Lightning in a long, long time, easily of JBB's kind of tenure here with Tampa Bay. And I don't think they're done. I mean, I think Bogosian is clearly on the market. There's some veteran defensemen. Like, I've heard Oliver Ekman-Larsson's name thrown around, who looks like a great reclamation project. He's a Swede, so I know Hedman would probably vouch for him. Absolutely. Eric Johnson's a name I threw out there. So I think there's going to be a flurry of moves around this team this offseason.
No, I would agree. This team's going to look a lot different than it did last year. And, I have a lot of faith in Julien Brisebois that he's going to push the right buttons. And it's tough with the salary cap. There may be a little bit of relief coming next year. They might be able to add a little bit, but we'll see. I just think that, Killorn, I don't want to say anything bad about the guy, but it's like you said, he's going to be 34. And it's not like he's the fastest skater in the world, right? And this league is moving to, faster, more dynamic playmaking. But then again, he's a valuable piece, especially in the playoffs. The guy, and that's the most important part. The guy comes to play in the playoffs. So
yes, it is. You need those guys.
If your goal is to win, a Stanley Cup this year and get everything you can out of this core of players, then maybe you overextend a little bit to keep Alex Killorn. I don't think it's a horrible idea, but at some point.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
At some point, look, we're all in with this core. I get it. But you don't want to be hamstringing yourself 2, 3, 4 years down the road where you have no draft picks, and you're going to go through just this horrible correction after, what is, some would call a dynastic run in today's modern NHL. I mean, to go to 3 straight finals and win 2 of them, nobody's going to replicate that in the next 15 years. No way. No freaking way. So you got to be careful here, and you can't be sentimental. We love Alex Killorn. He's such a great, he's great for the community. He's fun, he's an influencer, right? He plays hard, a great attitude. You can't say enough great stuff about the guy. He's 34. He's going to be 34. So, age catches up with everybody.
Yeah, I don't want this team to become what Pittsburgh is now. And I think Pittsburgh would tell you, well, we got 3 Stanley Cups out of this core, so we'll take whatever it is. And I think you could say the same thing about the Lightning. We've gotten 2 Stanley Cups out of this core and 4 finals appearances to this point. We'll see if there's more to come. So I understand that's just kind of the way the game goes. But Pittsburgh right now is in that spot where year after year, they continue to tell themselves, okay, we have Crosby, we have Malkin, we have Letang. We have to go for it. We have to. Yeah. No, you don't. You don't have to. Nobody's forcing you because you have those guys. The fact is those guys just can't get it done anymore in Pittsburgh. And for the last 5 years, I think it's been all first-round exits in the playoffs for Pittsburgh. They just can't get it done, but they continue to try to convince themselves. I don't want the Lightning to get to that point. Because the fact of the matter is, regardless of the fact that they outplayed Toronto and woulda, shoulda, coulda, and lucky bounces and calls and it is what it is, the Lightning did get beat in the first round this year. It did happen. Yep. It did happen. And you just want to hope that this is not the beginning of a trend there as the East continues to beef up. And by the way, the speed in this league, it's in the East. Yeah. It's in the East. The East was active at the trade deadline. The West was dead. I know the West ended up winning, but the East is loaded right now as it's ever been. And the Lightning have got to keep up. I think the secret there is to get younger. It's hard to do that when you don't have money. And is giving Alex Killorn, because I'm just projecting in my head right now, if it's a 4-year, $6 to $6.5 million, I'm walking away. I can't get sentimental, like you said. We've walked, and because I'm also, and keep in mind, I have to keep Steven Stamkos around to the end of his time as a Lightning, as a member of the Lightning, and his contract's got to be done. And until Steven Stamkos falls off a cliff or anything, which I don't see coming anytime soon, his AAV is going to be reasonably high. He's not going to get like $10 million. It's probably going to be a little bit less than what he's making right now at like the 8.25 or whatever it is, I'm going to assume. But you still got to factor in that contract, and he's older. And you have the remember, Cirelli, Sergachev, and Chernak's kicking in this year. I mean, again, 34 years old for Alex Killorn. Is that who you want to give that term to at that price?
No.
I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
No. So, yeah, and I don't think. Look, saying goodbye to Ryan McDonough the way they did was gut wrenching for Julian
Yes.
Brees-Bois. I spoke to him about that at an event not long ago, and but what it tells me is Julian Brees-Bois has the cojones to do
Yes.
what needs to be done and to make the tough decisions, which a lot of people in this market don't. When I'm talking about it, coaches, GMs, and sometimes you get wrapped up in your favorite player. You can't do that. This is a business. This is not about what you've done. It's about what you're gonna do. You can't pay for past performance. It's a surefire way to suck them. And here, quote that out. You put that out today, intern Nick. Sentimentality and paying for past performance on future contracts is a one-way ticket to suck them. And we don't want to be at suck them. All right? It's just, we love Alex Killorn. We love him dearly, but you just can't overextend that way. It cripples you.
That's my thing. It's like we've given up. We've watched all these other guys walk through the door, and we haven't been sentimental. I don't even know if the Lightning even made an attempt to keep Andre Palat. But Alex Killorn, of all the guys that we've seen come through and go away, that's the one that you're going to be sentimental to, and we have to keep.
I mean, think of the ones we've lost that we love. I mean, Yanni Gord, love that guy. Palat, you mentioned him, McDonough, all these guys. I mean, we don't want to lose any of them. In a non-salary cap world, if this was baseball, Jeffrey Vinnick would be shelling out money for all these guys.
Listen, if this was 20 years ago, the Lightning probably would be realistically, if this was 20 years ago, the Lightning might be working on 4 straight cups.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Because they would have lost none of these players.
Yeah, they'd still have this core together. And it was an unbelievable core. Everybody fit together, hand in glove. But it's just, moving on is hard, man. That's why it's so hard to repeat in this league. It's so difficult. I mean, it's why you see teams that win cups fall off dramatically, except for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're the only ones that have not. So, we'll see what Brees-Bois does, but I have a lot of confidence in him. I think he has the aptitude and he has the cojones to make tough choices. And so far, his track record is spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. I'm trying, there aren't a whole lot of moves that he's made that I think have been, in terms of contracts and everything else, have been pretty damn good.
Again, until I see it, Tanner Jeannot is always going to be, until I see something from Tanner Jeannot, it's always going to be the move that you're watching the most closely going into this season. It just is, because they're probably going to give him a nice contract. They view him as he's going to be part of the new core.
Mm-hmm.
But can he be a guy that scores 1 goal and be a part of that? Come on. And give up the entire draft capital for? And we understand at the time we were going to talk great things about that move, where the rest of the NHL trashed it because the Lightning had the ability to do that, right? Because they're in the window. But that's the one move that I told you. I think this past year, JBB's moves, this was the first year where I felt like his moves did not work out to plan as he thought they would. I still believe that.
Okay, that's fair, but I'm not gonna
take anything away from him. I trust him completely. I think he's the best general manager in hockey.
No, just like I say that. Say it with your chest, bro.
Just like I think Eric Leander's the best GM in baseball. Do I agree with some of the moves that he's made before? No. Am I wrong sometimes? Yeah, I could be completely off base here, but I'm just saying I can't think of one move that Julian Brees-Bois did in the 2022-2023 calendar campaign that worked like he thought it would. I think that's a fair assessment. It doesn't take anything away from him as a GM.
No, you're basing that on the first round exit. And I'm blaming the first round exit completely on an exhausted mentally and physically.
That's
team.
fair.
That's fair. I don't think it was because the moves were bad. I think it's because this team had just played way too much hockey in the last 4 years, and they were freaking gassed. And it still took 6 to 8 goals off skates and crazy stuff to happen to beat them. And Toronto, of course, we're quickly out right after that. So. All right, so you guys want to comment on the Colton deal? Ross Colton heading to Colorado for a draft pick in the second round, a high second-round pick. The NHL draft tonight, by the way, in Nashville, starting at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So watch Connor Bedard go to the Blackhawks, an organization that does not deserve him. by the way. Not one bit. But they're going to get them, and we'll see what that holds for the rest of.
That makes me sick.
It does make me sick. It really does. That makes me a little. They don't deserve Connor Bedard.
Just get star after star, scandals going on,
right?
And they get Connor Bedard.
Yeah, this is the way the NHL planned it. Third largest market. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, there's a question Richie P has offered up here that I think is very important. JP, if you're in Vegas and you get some intel on the alien sighting from a few weeks ago, I have intel already. On the alien sighting. So you don't want to miss this. And we got to talk some Rays, by the way. Taj Brasley was not good last night. So
you know who
more
won?
to come here. Who?
I think you know who was great last night, actually.
Who's that?
We'll
find out after the break. Stay with us.
Coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
During COVID, over 1.7 million people were added to the Florida Medicaid rolls, but as of April 1st, 2023, most of these people may not be eligible for the Medicaid coverage and will lose their health plan. If you have been notified you are losing your coverage, don't freak out. It's very likely you can apply for a federal subsidy under the Affordable Care Act. Just call 877-652-0244. Our representatives will walk you through the whole process, get some basic information on your income, number of kids, and then they'll find a plan that best fits your needs. In fact, with the new laws, 90% of Americans qualify for reduced or free health care. You can select great plans like Florida Blue. That's my carrier. Love them. Paying $800 left after making the call. 877-652-0244. Our highly trained professionals know all the intricacies of the new laws. They will do all the work. You save tons of money. So if you're being dropped from Medicaid, fear not. Call 877-652-0244. Get real health insurance, free doctor visits, free blood work, no deductibles. 877-652-0244.
Hey, JP here for Extravaganza Productions Incorporated, EPI. You've probably seen their purple logo at so many events that you've gone to. They are based in Tampa, and for over 33 years, they've been creating and producing conferences, meetings, and special events, the biggest to the smallest. Solid reputation of delivering the best audio, visual, sound, lighting, entertainment, video production, and decor, on time and on budget. I've worked with them with so many big events. The Warrior Games, which was an Olympic-style event all over Tampa Bay, from McDill to the Convention Center to USF. They did it flawlessly, made it look big and fantastic. I've worked with them on small events as well, large and small meetings and conferences, sporting events, fundraisers. If you got a fundraiser, you don't know the logistical way to pull it off, they'll take care of everything. Entertainment events, branding events, grand openings, so much more. The folks at Extravaganza Productions are the most professional and the best. I've worked with them many times. They are fantastic. You can contact them through extravaganzaproductions.com or call 813-621-4700. Extravaganza Productions, they are awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Coming to you live from Las Vegas here today. Thanks to the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Bay Area Modern Medical Center. If you want a new primary care physician, which I've moved over to work at BAMMC.com. Greg, do your appointment right there online, by the way, folks. Just go book your appointment online. Go see Chris Lugo. Spend an hour and 20 minutes with me going through my past history, all the other things, and personalized a plan for me to lose weight, to get my immune system even more robust, just be general health, sleeping better, taking care of a couple of minor, back pain, a little bit of knee pain here and there. We talked about, getting stem cells. He's had a couple of clients go down to Colombia and do some other therapies as well. So, he's not in there to make money off of you. He's there to get you healthy. And that's exactly what they do at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. So get an appointment, get a new primary care physician. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, partner. I didn't get a chance to see much of the Rays game last night due to travel and other festivities. But I did see that Taj Bradley had a tough night, and the lads lost 8-4.
Yeah, I was ready for this game. 9:40. I was like, okay, I was working last night. I was so excited to see Taj versus Zach Gallen. I talked this whole pitching matchup up. Thought it was going to be low scoring, and then we had 9 runs scored between the two teams through 2 innings. Because that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. And Taj, it seemed pretty apparent he didn't really have it. And Corbin Carroll, I should have mentioned him yesterday. My goodness, this dude is going to win the Rookie of the Year in a landslide in the NL.
3-run jack.
And he's probably going to finish near the top of the voting in the MVP if the Diamondbacks stay steady and win this division. So he's a fantastic player. He hits a 3-run jack. He just eats fastballs, and that's what he did last night. Christian Walker follows that up with a home run. They went back to back. So yeah, Taj, not a great start coming off his best one. But listen, I think we've talked about this with rookie pitchers. If you're going to bring them up here, you have to live and die by the rookie ebbs and flows of the season. What I hate for Taj is you look at the numbers on the surface, you see 4.58 ERA, and it makes it look like he's not pitching that well. I don't think that tells the whole story in this case, and I'm one of those guys. I'm still a believer in ERA. I know a lot of people aren't, and I know it is what it is, but I think Taj is much better than that 4.58 ERA as we've seen. I think he's still electric.
Yes.
Yeah. And give the Rays credit. They came right back in the second inning, and they put a 4 spot on the board. Jose Siri with his new dreadlocks. Did you see those things?
I did see a pic of that. What is that all about?
He looked like Tatis. He looks like Tatis completely. And they told the story. They landed in Arizona. He sat in a chair in the hotel. He had someone come out to the hotel. He sat in the chair from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. getting that done. 12 hours to get those dreadlocks put in. And then he went to sleep and woke back up at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. And then, then he's awake for a few hours and then the game starts. He went through that whole process, and then he ends up hitting a home run. He leads the Rays in home runs, if you can believe it.
15 home runs. Are you kidding me?
He's only played in 49 games. 15 home runs. I have to go and look at this. Has a 9-hole hitter ever led a team in home runs to end a season? Has that ever happened, you think?
No.
It's going to make a bid for it.
Well, here's the other question. How long is he going to be batting in a 9-hole? Well, you don't want to mess with him, right?
I don't mess with
him. No,
I like him leading into – I'm still a traditionalist. I love having a guy who can run and do that in the 9-hole. I like that. I still like that. Going into the best leadoff hitter in the game right now, probably in Yandy Diaz, right? I still love that combo. There's no need to mess with it, in my opinion.
Have you heard of this guy Arise? Have you heard of him?
You know, it's funny. As I was saying that, in my head, I was like, I really hope Luis Arise is not the leadoff hitter for the Marlins. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Side note, he's hitting back over 400 again after a two-way performance last night. He's fantastic. But, yeah, just one of those games for the Rays that just kind of got away from them early. When you spot Zach Gallen a 5-0 lead, I know the battle's back, but eventually he was going to find his stuff, which has made him a Cy Young contender. And you saw that happen for the Rays, or for the Diamondbacks last night. And the other point I was going to mention, who had a great game, was your boy Longo.
Yeah.
You think he was ready to play?
342nd career home run and is now homered against all 30 teams. How about that?
You think he was ready to play yesterday?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
And, you know, the fact that he, in the article in the Times, you know, said that he was, you know, he seemed like he was really interested in coming back to play for Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, like, you know, as we were just talking about, and I'm glad they made the move. There's no room for sentimentality in professional sports. Sorry. We love you, Evan. You can come back for the old timers game. And he said he would. He looks forward to coming back, throwing out the first pitch or whatever. And we need an old timers game, by the way. Rays marketing. I know you listen to the show, so let's get that. Fans will go bananas over that.
I'll tell you what I want again. I used to go early for this. They used to do this with the Marlins every single year. Can we get the Wives game?
The Wives game, yes. What happened to the Wives game?
Can we get that back? Can we get that back, please? I used to go early to see that. They do that against the Marlins every single year back in the day.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch.
There was a great charity component to it as well.
Yes.
So yes, let's bring that back. But yeah, an old timers game with Longo and Crawford and BJ. It would be the fans would freaking eat that up. Bring back Boggs and McGriff.
Be a softball game, right?
Yeah, whatever. You know, whenever they can play baseball. These guys aren't, freaking in wheelchairs, for God's sakes. Yeah,
we might have to put pitching screens up or something. I don't know.
Let Wechter go out there and throw, because he hits people in those games. I have a bruise to prove it. So. He's banned. He's banned for playing the old timers game.
Well, anywho, I'm just going to point out the Rays can say they didn't have a fit for Longo, and you could say we can't room for sentimental, but his OPS is 870, which is third on that Diamondbacks team behind Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte, right? Who are going to be all stars. He's third on the Diamondbacks in OPS. He could still play.
He's hitting. Isn't he playing basically as a platoon now?
Listen, I didn't want him to play every day if he was for the Rays. I just wanted him to be in the clubhouse.
So you don't have Itzhak Paredes in his 50 RBIs? I mean, come on now.
11 home runs and 123 at-bats, 870 OPS. I mean, he's having a hell of a year.
Is he batting exclusively against left-handers?
They're using him.
I don't know. No versatility. No versatility.
40 games, he plays like half the time. Like, I'm not asking for him to play every day. I just wanted to see it again.
Well, again, if he's not playing every day, he's not playing second, he's not playing short, he's not playing first. If you can get him to play first base, okay. Why can't he play first base? Come to think of it, everybody else plays first base. I don't know. I think Bendix was right in his quote. He's just not a good fit because he makes too much money too. Why are we going to pay? I know he doesn't make a lot of money, but why are we going to pay him $4 million?
Yeah, for the Rays, I guess.
When we're paying Paredes, $700,000, Stu will lose his freaking mind. Are you kidding me? No, I'm good. I'm good without him. I'm good. I'm fine. I love him. But again, making decisions based on sentimentality is a one-way ticket to suck them. So no, thank you.
Oh, that was really going to make the Rays suck, wasn't it? Having him in the locker room, it really was.
Well, they could, I think we can see right now they could use an elder statesman. There's no question about that guys look up to. I'm not saying it's the worst idea in the world, but I just, I don't think it's a good fit for this team. I think fit is the key word there. You got a bunch of young, exciting, Latin-heavy baseball team that seems to have a great vibe to it, except for one guy who, whose ego is run wild. By the way, I'm on Twitter yesterday, and somebody's taking me to task for my take on Wander.
Stick to hockey, pal.
And he's like, And I'm like, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, Wander didn't wear, the only guy who didn't wear the shirt. And he goes, because he didn't like the fabric.
That was a good response. That was a 10 out of 10 response.
That was fantastic. I was like, but I think this guy actually believes that. I think he believes it. And I'm like, really? I got some waterfront land down here in Vegas to sell you, bro. Come on out.
Listen, I'm not trying to like focus on that story, but like the fact that everybody's just trying to like just sweep this under the rug and it's all over with and we're moving on. It's like, yeah, of course we have to move on at some point, but like to act like this is not fresh or it wasn't a big deal at all. That's what people were saying. They were like, this is not a big deal at all. It's just, we're going to move on. It's fine. Like, it's the star player who has the big contract that was benched for being a bad teammate. Those were the words. Not my words. Not my words. Kevin Cash's words.
Let me just say,
the Rays don't come out publicly with these things usually.
Thank you.
It's like, why is everybody trying to sweep this under the rug? It's like, you people are living in fantasy land. I understand the Rays are fantastic and y'all just want to talk about good things and keep it. That's fair. There's, to an extent, I'm like that as well. But to act like we could just sweep this under the rug and no sports talk show in the area is allowed to talk about this anymore. Really? Really?
Look,
that's I know we're not the only ones doing it. I know like 620 is the same
being
thing.
A fan.
They're talking about it, but it's a big radio discussion.
Well, listen, that's the difference between being an objective observer of sports and talking about it for 35 years in my career, and a guy that looks through Rays-colored glasses and doesn't and sees only great things for the Rays, which is great. You're a fan. That's the way you should be. Congratulations. But that's not my job. That's not my role. And to take people, I'm not taking you to task for being a fan. I'm saying good for you. But I'm like, you want to tell me that I should shut the hell up because you're making a bigger deal out of it. This is bullshit. I'm like, first of all, I know a lot more than that we can't really talk about. Okay, that I'm not going to burn my sources on this stuff, and they gave it to me on background information. And if we listed the things that Wander has done in the paper or on this show, it would not be good for this team. So let me just tell you that. I'm being a good soldier in that way, and not airing all the dirty laundry out there. So
yeah.
Give me, if you're Mr. Rays fan.
By the way, may I remind you again what happened last year? Which the Rays can sweep that under the rug all they want and say nothing happened. It wasn't a big deal.
Tried.
We all know what happened. Okay? There was an altercation between Yandy and Randy, and it tanked the chemistry of that team. And don't tell me, well, that was last season. No, it matters because it tanked the chemistry of the team last year.
Big time.
People,
Big time.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Yeah,
okay?
and by the way, if you haven't noticed, when Yandy Diaz doesn't play, this team's not very good.
Exactly.
So when one of his teammates beats him up and he can't play for 10 days,
it's not that hard to figure out. I'm using what happened last year to add context to this year, and the fact that they're on a historic pace right now and they're the best team in baseball. I don't want anything to affect that.
Exactly.
That's why I'm talking about it right now. I don't want it to be a serious issue. But to say we can't talk about it.
As we said when Topkin first wrote the story, 3 weeks, a month ago, and there were quotes in there from Eric Neander, and I told you folks right then, I said, this is a problem because this didn't just happen. This has been going on for quite some time. For the Rays to make that type of move and I believe this wholeheartedly, that for them to go to Topkin and the press and say, hey, there's something going on with Wander and we need to get it out there and hopefully it'll put some public pressure on them. And this is my take on it. I wasn't there for the conversation, but there's some things going on and, we'd like to talk about it and get it out there. So obviously Mark's going to go, yeah, what you got? I'm taking notes, copious notes JP, right now.
But JP, Mark Topkin is supposed to be a fanboy of the team, and he's not supposed to print it no matter what, because we can't talk about negative things with the Rays. We just can't do it.
I know a lot of people now in this generation think that censorship is a good thing, that you should just – it's not a good thing, folks. It leads to very bad things. I'm starting to think the Tampa Bay sports fan is just soft. I'm just starting to think that.
Okay, because I'm seeing all the USF people who are. We had this discussion yesterday. All the USF people are crying, bitching, and moaning on Twitter, right? Because they have to go use their thumbs to get their grievances out against the Times. They don't like us, and they write hit pieces. And then what does the Times do this morning? Hold on, let me bring up the title of the article. Let me read the exact title of the article here, real quick. Da, 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 da. Okay. How USF lost and UCF won the conference realignment war on I-4. And USF fans lost their mind this morning at this article. How dare you? No one should give this. We're not giving this any attention. Yeah, you are. You read the article. You want to know how I know that? Because it's the most read article on the Times this morning. Okay? So you can tell me all you want about the Times and they just wrote that article and you read it. You did exactly what they wanted. You read the article. And that's why it was written, and it was a well-written piece, by the way, might I say, from Matt Baker. So,
Excellent
get off.
piece.
Stop
Excellent
being
piece.
soft.
Yep.
Just stop being soft. I think we've been overwhelmingly positive about the Rays this year. How could you not be?
Yeah. No, listen, you're 100% right. I think Tampa Bay fans can be very thin-skinned for their particular teams, and there's nothing in that Times article that we haven't talked about on this show. We went through it the other day. Why this happened, and it goes right to the top of the leadership of USF and Judy Genshaft, who just was not a big supporter of athletics, and USF has never really been an athletic school. It never has. It's always been on the fringe. And you had that list yesterday, the top 25 enrollment schools, public universities, public and private actually. And you look at through that whole thing, the one that does not belong in terms of athletics is USF, because they, during Judy's tenure and previous to her, athletics were never a priority. Oh, sure, we got a basketball team. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We were good a couple of times under Lee Rose. Yeah, that was fun. But there was no serious, facility investment. There was no serious.
And by the way, when you can't bury your past when you're trying to come back up and be a player. You can't bury your past. You have to talk about it. You have to say what went wrong.
You have to acknowledge it.
You have to acknowledge what went wrong with the university and the program. What allowed the school in Orlando, whatever 80 miles away or whatever it is, to overtake you in a short span of time. You have to acknowledge what happened there, what they did well, what can USF replicate, and how can they get to the dance.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with pointing that out.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. And that's, and why did they pass him up? Because they built the on-campus stadium. They got an atmosphere going on campus. They started to attract recruits. They hired a couple of big, serious coaches. And guess what? They won in football, and now they're in the Big 12, and you're not. So why don't you, instead of bitching and moaning and whining about a newspaper pointing out the obvious and a show, the JP Peterson Show, pointing out the obvious, start rallying around your team. I've said this for years. The fan base has to rally before you're going to get the team to rally. Okay? You got to create an atmosphere at Raymond James Stadium. By the way, you're getting a new stadium. It's not going to be done for 4 years. All right? You got to pour into Raymond James Stadium as your stadium, create an atmosphere to get this thing going. And the students have to be a huge part of that. They have to lead the way. And yeah, you got to win some dadgum football games, Alex Golish. Go win some damn football games and get some exciting football in there, which I think he's capable of doing. And with this schedule, you should win 6 games at least. But bitching and moaning and getting mad at the messenger is not the way to go about it. Grow the F up, okay? And stop acting like such a, like you're entitled to some, great spectacular coverage. Yeah. It's not there.
If you don't like the articles, and this goes for the same thing with the Rays, if you don't like the negative press about it, don't read it. Just don't read it. Turn it off. But you're reading it. That's the thing. The people that are saying, well, this is awful, why are you? You're reading it. You're giving them clicks. Yeah, stop doing it. And so maybe something will change.
Yeah, I totally agree. What else did we want to get into here before we
get over?
I love your rant, though. I love your passion. That was great. People are going to get mad at you now, though. You're going to have to put up with that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I speak what I mean. And I mean what I say.
Okay. No, I love it. You're spot on. And by the way, you're not some UCF honk going after USF because you also have some.
No, I want them to be successful. I listen before
So
I
do
was
I.
before
So
I
do
even
I.
before I even knew what UCF was, and before I ever even went there, considered going there. I went to the USF games. I had the 7 jersey that was supposed to be BJ Daniels. I had all that. I worked to school all the time. It was cool. I considered myself a little USF fan. I don't consider myself a USF hater by any means. I tell you all the time. I told you yesterday, UCF fans are the most delusional bunch in the world. I mean it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, a couple other stories I saw last night that I wanted to hit real quick. Just sticking in baseball, did you get a chance to see the greatness of Shohei Ohtani last night?
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights. That dude,
it can't be.
as I've told you, MVP every year until he dies.
It's almost like the MVP is like not even like good enough at this point.
It's not.
This is crazy. He hits a home run like every night. Last night he hits 2. The second one he hit after he got pulled out of the game for having like a broken fingernail or something like that, and he hits it out with like one hand. It was like a change up away. He swings with like one hand and takes it oppo taco. I mean, he's leading Major League Baseball in home runs, RBIs, OPS, and then he struck out 10 to boot also last night. I can't get enough of it. I can't say it enough. I mean, he's the most talented player in the history of baseball, and we have the opportunity to watch it before our eyes. Like, I'm trying to like live in the moment with Shohei Ohtani. The coverage, if you're complaining about, stop shoving him, we're not shoving you down our throats or anything like that. It's granted. It is granted. I can't get enough of watching this guy. It's appointment television every single time, and he is the runaway MVP. And if somebody wanted to give him $700 million tomorrow, I wouldn't bat an eye. I'll give him a piece of the ownership if that's what it takes. I don't care.
Yeah, I see people like, we should trade for Shohei Ohtani. I'm like, what are you people talking about?
As fun as that would be, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. You'd have to give up the Sunshine State Skyway at least. By the way, there was a little article in the Times about the goings on over in St. Petersburg in the Rays Stadium, and the Times has come up with even though the Mayor Welch is doing everything he possibly can to keep everything out of public records. It looks like there's their negotiations with the Rays, or at least their presentation to the Rays, is coming up pretty soon and going to be finalized. But all of this is just a bunch of wasted time in terms of what's happening, in my opinion. Because, like I said, the game that's going on in St. Petersburg is not the game you think it is, as 2 people have said to me that with very close ties to the negotiations that are going on. So I still don't think it's going to happen there, but we'll see what Welch comes up with. And I still have yet to see any public discourse as to what the public thinks about spending all this public money for a failed location in a stadium. So we shall see. And when is this going to be presented to the city council? That's what I want to say. I want to see. And how quickly is it going to be voted on, and how much public comment is there going to be? So we'll see. I'll be honest with you, I haven't digested the entire piece yet, so I'll do a little bit more research and get back with you tomorrow on all that stuff. So we shall see.
Yeah. Another crazy story yesterday. Fortunately, he's okay. Leonard Fournette, I'm sure you saw the pictures that he posted. His car caught on fire yesterday on the interstate near, Fowler Avenue, I want to say? This happened on I-275. Not sure what happened there, but that's frightening. That is, I can't believe he got out of that when I saw the car.
Has he been signed yet? Hasn't even been.
No,
nobody's going to sign.
He's still a free agent. Obviously living in Tampa still.
Yeah, I saw some of you people on Twitter wanted to make jokes about Leonard Fournette and his weight. How fat is he now that his car is catching on fire because the motor's working too hard? That's mean.
People said that?
That's mean. It's very mean.
Said that.
Yeah, of course people said that. They're very mean. I mean, I don't. Yeah. I think they thought it was a joke, but good thing he got out alive. And
and then
how did your car catch on fire though? That's just bizarre. Like a new car catch on fire.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't even want to speculate, but can't something happen like if you run it dry with the coolant and all that, it can catch fire, I believe.
Yeah, something like
Maybe something like
yeah,
that.
You got to put some coolant in there now.
Pay attention to the lights on the car. I don't know. Who knows what happened there? But obviously, fortunate that he made it out okay from that situation.
We'll leave on this note from Thomas Casper. When Tropicana Field tests the ground, all hell will break loose. That's what's going to happen. They'll finally get the deal done for the stadium, right? With all this fanfare, we'll have more marching bands and everything, and then the EPA will come in and test the soil and go, "You got a hazardous waste dump here. You can't build here. How'd you get this done? 20 years ago? 30 years ago. I don't know." And then it'll be the end of that, and then they'll have to build in Tampa. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny? We shall see. All right, I'm going to go out and brave the 110-degree heat here in Vegas today. See what kind of shenanigans I can get into, and we got the play-by-play man, TC Martin of the Las Vegas Aces, coming on tomorrow. By the way, Tom Brady is part owner of the Las Vegas Aces, so maybe he'll be at the game Thursday. I might go to the game. I might go to this game. It'll be fun. It's going to be huge. 2 super teams coming into Vegas for the Las Vegas Aces. So we'll have him on tomorrow. We'll talk some more Vegas sports and have some fun. Thanks to all our sponsors and everybody. Go Rays tonight. We'll see if they can even things up with the Diamondbacks. Have a good day, everybody.